Hello, I am Patty Siegel with the Route 422 Business Advisor. Welcome to another show. And I am here today with Lana Potiger, correct? Did I say? Okay. Potgieter. Lana is from Lighthouse Leadership Coaching. And Lana has been here in the last year. She came from South Africa to be with her grandchildren and her daughter. And she's been in the coaching business for quite a while. So we're going to be talking a little bit to Lana about that. Welcome, Lana.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. That's very nice to be here.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about your trip here and a little bit about the coaching business and how long you've been in it.
Okay, so I went through a coaching process in 2003. And then in 2004, I decided to join the coaching business in South Africa. And we were licensees of Leadership Management International, that's based out of Waco, Texas. Okay. And then, so that's going on 21 years this year. And family is very important. I've always had a goal to come and visit my daughter at least every year. She moved here 14 years ago when she came to au pair. And then it became a dream and a goal to actually move here. And we did that just about 11 months ago.
Good. So I know you completed your first LMI in 2003, is that correct? And then you mentioned being a product of the product. I love that line and why it's so important. Can you talk a little bit about that?
So if I'm going to be journeying with people in this transformational and life-changing way, then I have to actually be applying it to my own life. It's like if you were a yoga teacher, but you never did yoga by yourself or for yourself, that would be weird. And the same with coaching. And I find that's a very important part of being a successful coach, is to constantly be putting yourself through coaching and development and growing your skills, but also growing myself as a person.
Right, and working on yourself, which is really fun. So you offer coaching, you do assessments, you do development workshops. I know you've done a lot since you've been here. I was at one of your programs the other day and I loved it. Will you please explain a little bit about the differences between these?
So when we do an assessment, so I use a tool called Shadow Match, which measures your strength in different habits. So it will give me a profile of not your temperament or your personality, but what are the habits you typically fall into on an easy day or on a hard day. And so if we're thinking in terms of that in a team, if your propensity to own things is very strong, when the pressure is on, you're going to take everything away from your team. So I could develop the skill within you to be better at delegating and coaching and empowering your team so that you can manage yourself and empower your team. So when we know what we tend to do, then we know where we can change those habits.
Very interesting, because what you said is a little bit about me.
Lucky guess.
So always good to learn how to just let go and delegate and have faith. I really believe having faith in the
Absolutely.
Everything's going to work out. So I see you do local lunch and learns too. Do you have any upcoming events?
So the main focus, because March is Women's History Month, and I'm from Africa, I decided to launch a Lioness Leadership Program. And I don't know how much you know about lions, but in a lion pride, the lionesses are actually the hunters. Even though the lions are called the king of the jungle, the lionesses they feed the tribe, and they hunt in packs. So lionesses will make an ambush and then attack the prey that way. And I just think, because as women, we all have to lead. We lead ourselves, we lead our families, we lead our businesses and our teams. Mm-hmm. If we get better at leading ourselves, understanding ourselves, and then banding together with other lionesses, we actually get to impact so much more and get so much further towards what we really want to achieve in our lives.
Right, we can learn from each other.
For sure.
And I always think if I'm with a group like that and I hear how somebody handled that situation, and you think to yourself, wow, if they can do it, I can do it.
Absolutely.
You know, and it really feeds on each other, so to speak.
Yeah.
So I have a question for you, because I believe everybody today needs coaching in one way or another, whether you're the CEO or whether you're human resources or whether you just have a little business or whether you're not sure what you want.
True.
So what would you say to a person that says, I'm cool, I'm good, I don't really need this kind of help? You know, because I sometimes, I love mindset work and coaching as well, and sometimes, you know, people are like, yeah, I'm good, I don't want to grow, but I believe until we're dead, we need a purpose. And especially in these times, if we have a sense of purpose, it can really pull us through crazy times. It can help us stay focused on the goal at hand. So what would you say to a person who might say that to you?
In my head, I'd say, you liar, you. But that's not what I'd say outwardly. Here's the thing to consider. Think of any Olympic athlete. They win 4 medals. They don't ditch the coach and say, I've got this.
Right.
They probably get extra coaches because now their personal best is going to be so much higher to achieve. And if you think of business leaders, I promise you, and I don't want to mention names, but anybody that comes to mind in mainstream business, like the famous names, they all have coaches. They have multiple coaches.
Right.
The most successful people I know personally all have multiple coaches. They would coach with me. They would have possibly a life coach on the side. They will go to therapy with their spouse, not because something is wrong, but because there is so much more to achieve. Right. And I think that's sometimes what we misunderstand. We don't coach and develop to fix things. Mm-hmm. We coach and develop to achieve a future picture.
Right.
So sometimes nothing's broken, but there are things in our lives that don't work as well as we'd like them to work. Mm-hmm. And if you just look inwardly and say, have you achieved everything you'd like? Do you have, in all your relationships, the kind of satisfaction and significance that you'd like to see? And if in any one of those there's tweaking that you'd like to do, then you can work with a coach. How long you work with a coach and how deeply you work with a coach, that's going to be up to you. But everybody can be better. This is not about becoming somebody new. It's becoming the best version of yourself.
Good point. I love that word better, because I work with a couple coaches as well, and we talk about that all the time. Are we getting better? And my coach had a person who was in the Olympics and who didn't get the gold medal for 2 years, and she got a silver. And she had worked her tail off. And he said, are you happy with it? And she's like, yeah. And he goes, no, you're not. So he said, do you want to win the gold? She said, yeah. He took her on for that year, and I'm getting chills telling you the story. She won the gold the next year.
Yeah.
So I love that word, better. And people who are already up here and really good, like you said, have several coaches.
Yeah. It's all about reaching our next personal best.
Yes.
It's a personal best.
Yeah.
It's not by other people's standards. You will fail if you're trying to pursue other people's standards for you.
Yeah.
It has to be personally valuable and worthwhile. But it's that
what
personal
you want.
best. Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's surprising how many people don't know. They
Right.
oh, I just want to be happy. Well, then, happiness, truthfully, is a choice.
So, my coach said this to me, and I love it. Happiness is having a purpose.
There you go.
Because if we don't have a purpose, our day just kind of controls us. If we have a purpose, we can control the day, and we can say, okay, I've got to get these 5 things done, and I've got 3 really important action steps to take. And if we get in action,
Yeah.
we're going to achieve. But if we just ruminate, then the next day we got those 5 things on the list or 4 things on the list, and we're just running our lives like that. So it's real important to feel like you're achieving as well.
Yeah.
I think, even as we get older. And you also mentioned, and I love this, we are not meant to be a lifeboat rescuing people. We are to be the lighthouse and empower people to fulfill their own voyage. Love that. Will you please talk a little bit more about that and how you help clients get to their fulfilling their goals and desires?
So, most of us like to help people. We want to be contributing to people. And as coaches, that is like, it's an underlying theme for all of us, right? But here's the problem. If I'm taking responsibility for your results, I have no control, because I can't go home with you and puppeteer your arms and make you do the things you need to do.
Right.
So, so as a lifeboat, I'm exhausting myself going out, trying to fix everybody, trying to fix every problem in my business. I'm trying to make sure marketing works right, and I'm trying to make sure sales are doing what they're doing, and I'm trying to make... I will be exhausted, because this is also not a calm sea. We're not on this tranquil lake. We're in an ocean with varying degrees of storms. So if I become the lighthouse, the one that says, hey guys, this is what you need to avoid, these are the rocks, and I can put lighthouses along the shore, I can help my team or my family or myself plot the course. Showing up as light helps other people find their light.
Good point.
But if I'm going out rescuing you, the message I'm giving you is, and in South Africa we'd say, ach, shame. But in America it's not shame like the American term, but it's like, poor you, let me help you, because you can't do this by yourself. You need to be rescued. So being the lighthouse means I trust you with your life. I will guide you, but you get full responsibility and power of your own life and your own choices.
Right, good point. And I think sometimes as a coach, having faith, like if you had faith in me that I can achieve this, and maybe I don't have full faith yet, but if you have faith in me, I don't want to let you down. Therefore, I don't want to let myself down. And it comes full circle.
Yeah.
Yeah, so good points. So where do you see yourself and the coaching business headed? I know you're doing the Lioness group, and
that's one aspect. Because I'm new to the States, I'm still building a new client base, but I have clients in the UK that I've been working with since 2016, 2017, and I have clients in South Africa that I'm still working with. And then I'm working in a business, and I work with the executive team, and I work with the next layer of managers, and then I work with the potential managers, so that you're building succession plan. And we're building stuff like self-image, purpose, goal focus, time management, which, by the way, we don't manage time. Time just passes. We manage our own energy and actions.
Right.
So I want to build the same in America. So where I'll be working in businesses, I have some businesses that I'm working with, but they're obviously new. So the results are still developing. We're not finished even the first program. So building the business to where I'm working with 5 or 6 larger clients where there's longevity in the relationship, and then servicing solopreneurs and smaller businesses. Because as a solopreneur or a smaller business, maybe a team under 10, you don't have margin. If anybody doesn't do their part, the machine falters. In a bigger organization, if there's 200 people and I don't do my part, the momentum of the business will keep things moving forward. There'll be impact, but it's not going to be fatal. With a smaller business, we really need to make sure that everybody is performing at their best. And so that's the picture. And to service so many clients, the game would also be to have associates working with me, co-facilitating, building their own client base, but in a unit so that there's a team and it's not such a lonely journey as a coach. Right. So that would be the picture. And my immediate for this year, in years past, I've actually won awards for having 100 clients in a year.
Wow.
And so that is something that I want to do in the next year in the US.
Sounds like you have the capacity to do that. So what would you say sets you apart? I know since COVID there's been a lot of new coaches on the rise. I mean, I've been a yoga teacher for 28 years, and I started studying before it became trendy. But what would you say sets yourself apart, since you've been in the business so long, from other coaches?
You're right, and actually somebody did say to me, why did you become a coach? There's so many of you, which is true, but not all coaches are created equal. So it's very important when you're looking for a coach, check for chemistry, check that they don't have an opinion of what you should be doing, right, and that they also have their own coaches, right, so that they are that product of the product. And so I think what sets me apart is that I tick those boxes, but also that I intentionally and actively have developed and continued to develop myself. And I learn from my clients even now, because my self-awareness is so high because I've practiced it.
Right.
So I'm not saying a new coach or a COVID coach, as they've been referred to. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with them. And being in business for so long, there was the time when in South Africa, teachers were, we call it retrenched, made redundant. They cut the numbers in schools of teachers, and then those teachers all became coaches or realtors. And so industries have cycles.
Right.
That's a normal, I mean, I've experienced it so often. So the track record, the results with my clients, and the fact that I keep developing myself. So I'm always trying to be ahead of my clients instead of following them.
That's good. That's good. I think that's what you need to do. So it sounds like you gave us a wealth of information. Is there anything that you'd like to add? Just let our viewers know. Anything that you might want to just say, how to contact you, or that kind of thing.
So the best way to get hold of me is through my LinkedIn profile and my telephone number, which I can give you. I know people are quite nervous of giving their telephone numbers out, but you can.
I think we're good.
Okay, that's fantastic. So my number is 484-347-0515, and that is the best way to call me or get in touch with me. It's the quickest way to find me. I'm mostly with clients, so I'm not sitting at my desk in front of my email most of the day. So that is the best.
It's good to know. Well, thank you so much, Lana, for this. It's been very informative. I really enjoyed this.
Thank you. It was a lovely experience. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.